Well, good evening, boys and girls. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about two things. One of them is going to be what is my monthly car payment on my Camaro ZL1? What was the loan term I got it for? How much did I give down? And I'm also going to include what I pay for insurance. All these factors I'm about to talk about, they're all different based on you, right? My car payment or your car payment will be different even if we give the same amount, because it's also based on what type of interest rate you got for your car. So that could be a variance, right? So the numbers I'm going to discuss today, again, are dependent on me individually. And so it'll give you a guide, but it'll be different. It'll be dynamic based on you in regards to your car payment, specifically the interest rate and specifically how much money you're giving down. Same thing for the car insurance. The car insurance is also dynamic. It is based on your driving record, how long you've had insurance without any types of break-in coverage. The other thing that changes your insurance coverage is also what type of coverage you have on it, right? So, you know, if you have what type of deductibles you pay in case you are in an accident. The higher the deductible, the greater driving record you have, the lower premiums you're gonna pay. I tend to pay my premiums 6 months in advance. I always pay my insurance 6 months in advance because I like to get sometimes anywhere between $150 to $200 discount. So we're gonna go on a quick ride in the Camaro ZL1 right now and talk about those pointers. And there she sits. She's a little dirty. Black is dirty, but it is the nicest looking color, by the way. But let's get on the Camaro. Let's take her for a drive. And you guys can see I have a nice little steep curve. So I'm gonna show you guys what I do. I take her at an angle because things can get a little complicated. Okay. So, this is not going to be a cold start. I wish it was a cold start, but it is not going to be a cold start, guys, because of, I already took her out this morning. I was at the dentist. So she'll still sell.
Your sexuality.
Don't forget front.
Right, so a couple of things or mods that I'm thinking about doing before we get into the car payment, insurance, and so on and so forth. I'm struggling a little bit, guys. I apologize. I'm a 40-year-old grown-ass man. My son is getting his braces done. He's 10. He was having some issues around having a little bit of courage to get braces. I said, hey, buddy, if I do it, will you do it? And I've been putting off braces. I hate going to the dentist, and a lot of people hate that too. But to go past that, I'm getting braces with him, and so it's kind of a cool journey. And so I gave the kid a little courage, and to be fair, he gave me courage. But the purpose of this video is to tell you about the car payments on my Camaro ZL1, what I'm paying, what's my interest rate, and my term, and so on and so forth. Let me put on my seat belt, which is awesome, by the way, because it's red with a black car. And the other thing I want to talk about is the car's a little quiet, so I don't know. I've been thinking about maybe like just an axle back. I don't really want to do a cat back. I don't want the car too crazy loud. And then I've also been thinking about a wrap. What do you guys think? Comment below. Should I get a wrap? Colors that I've been thinking about is like maybe like a satin silver or satin gray finish. That seems to be the thing right now. It looks like if you're not a YouTuber and you're not wrapping your car, you're not a real YouTuber. But I'm not doing it because of that. I think those colors that I just mentioned look really nice on the car, and I think wraps look fantastic, which allow you a difference in painting your car. Because if you paint your car, I mean, it's a process. Good thing with a wrap is after 2 or 3 years, if you don't like it, you want to go back to its original color, you could always change it. So enough with the wrapping and enough with my dentist. Let's get on the road. And let me see if I can turn this around for you guys so you guys can see the steep curve. Excuse me, right there. Oops. So you guys can see, I I gotta get her straight, and then I gotta get, like you see that? I go at an angle to get her down, because if not, things will scrape everywhere. All right, so, sorry. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not alleging I'm a professional YouTuber. I am not using the best camera quality as a YouTuber. This is my damn phone. I tend to be amateur. I don't do all these edits and all these things, and what you're seeing right now is live. It's not like I go back and re-edit my issues or my problems and try, like, man, this is raw footage. I get it that some of you guys want something more professional, but this is a hobby of mine. This is, you know, I don't pay my bills with this stuff, and that's not my intention. I just like it. It's fun, and I get to share it with you guys, you know, my car's journey and the enjoyment I've gotten of it so far. All right, so enough with the mumbo jumbo. So I purchased my Camaro ZL1 around 3-4 months ago. I'm actually about, we just hit over 4,100 miles, about to get 4,200 miles. I gave a 3,000 mile update. I'm gonna give one when I get probably to 6,000 miles. And so the purpose of this video is to give you guys an idea of what is, you know, what's my car payment. All right, so I purchased a car about 3 months ago. I gave, I wanna say it was $10,000 down. I did have a trade-in. I got a really nice value for my trade-in. I had an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quattrofoglio, and they gave me a really nice trade. And as you guys know, when you trade in a vehicle, you also get the tax bracket benefit, which means you get a tax credit, and you only pay for the difference of the equity on the car. So, as an example, if you are buying a $74,000 car, like the one I have, and you trade in a car where they're giving you, say, $54,000, $55,000, you would only pay taxes on that difference, not the total amount, which is a big benefit. In my situation in Texas, the rate is 6.25, so you're talking about, you know, 3.5, maybe 4K, which is huge, right? It helps when you're buying a car. So the payment I have, let me make sure I have my bank information, or I kind of put it out. So I paid $74,000 for the car. However, I think it was $71,300 I got the car for. Plus I got my tax credits. I gave $10,000 down. I financed for 72 months, guys, and my payment is $979, basically $980 a month. You said I got down. For some folks, I get it, you know, let's be fair with each other, right? I get it. It is a lot of money. You know, one of the basics of financial advice is don't put your money on your car, because it doesn't appreciate, it depreciates. But I enjoy it. It doesn't hurt me one day, or every month, actually, not one day, paying that amount. I pay it gladly. I can afford it. I have no issues affording it, and I enjoy the car. So there it is. That's my car payment. And if you wanted to know, for those folks that wanted to know, like, what does it cost to get a ZL1 1LE with the automatic, that's roughly what your payment's going to be. Again, there's other things that you need to account for, such as your interest rate, which I got where is it at? 3.24 for 72 months. That's an amazing interest rate. And of course, I got it through a credit union, which that's also recommended if you're thinking about buying a car. Now, why do I say it's different based on folks? Because your interest rate might be higher or lower, right? If your interest rate is higher, then your payment will be higher. If your down payment and your interest rate, so if your down payment's lower and your interest rate's higher, then your payment will be higher. If your interest rate is lower and you give a lot more down than $10,000, your payment will be lower. Again, it's just basic stuff. There's a lot of calculators that you can go online and get the details roughly of what your payment's going to be relative to those things that I just mentioned around credit profile, how much money you're giving down, your interest rate, and so on and so forth. The next thing I wanted to talk about is car insurance. All right, so my car insurance, as I mentioned earlier, I pay it 6 months in advance. So I pay for 6 months, and I purposely do that because it saves me about $150 to $170 over the life of the 6 months. I also understand that most people won't pay it 6 months. Some people will just pay it every month, which is fine. But also, again, insurance is different based on your driving record, how long you've been driving for, your age, and a lot of things. You know, how long have you had coverage? Have you had break-in coverage? So my insurance payment on this car is $139 a month. If I would break out those 6 months once I get my discount. And again, it goes based on my driving record, the coverage, deductibles that I have. What a deductible basically means, guys, is if you are in an accident, the amount that it would cost you out of pocket for them to start the repairs on your car. As an example, let's just say, God willing, this does not happen. I'm in a car accident, and the damages on the car are $15,000, right? What my insurance company is going to say, oh, Edgar, I see that your deductible is $500. And again, deductibles are different. They're $500, $1,000, $250, $2,000. It just depends, again, on you. Again, like I mentioned before, the higher the deductible, the lower your monthly premium. All right? So hold on, there's a little bit of traffic here. Let me pay a little attention. And so it's going to change based on what it is. So again, that's my monthly payment. But there's a lot of things that you just got to consider. And again, going back to the deductibles I just mentioned, you know, it just depends on what deductible you are. But going to the example of that 15K car accident, if my deductible is $500, the insurance company is going to ask me for those $500 first before they start the repairs on my car, and they cover the rest of that money. So as an example, again, if my deductible is $500 and the damages are $15,000, in order for them to fork up the $14,500 difference, I need to pay the $500 deductible. Is that making sense? So that's pretty much the way it works. Of course, again, it depends on what you have in your insurance. I have, if I'm not mistaken, I'm at the 100, 300 range. So I have really good insurance premiums on my cars.